Welcome, my friends. Thank you for joining me. As usual, let's settle into a comfortable relaxation posture. Making sure that you are in a comfortable and relaxing environment. You'd be surprised at how many people try to practice in a space that is not conducive to relaxation, where they're always having to look over their shoulder for any kind of injury. Maybe there's a road coming behind them. They're nervous about getting hit by a car. You might be in a place where kids are screaming and running all around. And if that's the best that you can do, fine. Sometimes life is like that. But it can be useful to recognize that it's especially difficult to relax in a place that is not allowing you to relax. You don't have to make it difficult for yourself. Choose the easy way. Keep yourself warm and comfortable. Wear clothes that aren't too tight. Stand on ground where your feet aren't super cold and having to become rigid in order to stay warm. Stand in a place where you don't have to watch your back to keep from being whacked with the door opening or something. You'd be surprised at how often people don't understand how much their environment impacts them. Create an environment of peace, comfort, safety, and you are far more likely to find those things in your life. Do your best. It's not always possible. But for most of us, most of the time, it is. And it just takes a little bit of effort and attention to detail to make things easier for us. Letting go of any tension in your face, perhaps between your eyebrows or in your jaw. Softening the base of your tongue and your throat. Letting go of the fronts of your shoulders, softening this notch here at the base of the throat, releasing your chest. This wave of relief that travels down. As well, softening from the base of your ears, the sides of your neck, washing down tops of the shoulders, feeling your arms hang, letting all of this go. Releasing the back of your neck, from the base of the skull all the way down, that space between the shoulder blades, allowing your shoulder blades to sink, allowing all of this to fall open, making it easier for the back of the neck to relax. And all the while, all of this release downward, through, and outward makes it easier for your head to fall upward effortlessly. You don't have to do anything other than let go. Continuing to release your chest and your upper back, your rib side, your belly and your lower back. And as this section of your body continues to become free, and as the weight leaves, it allows the tissues to open and to lengthen, setting all of this free. And again, as the weight falls through, there's this sense of weightlessness that is left, lightness, freedom. So it's as though, in a way of thinking about it, from here up, everything becomes light and free and floating. And then as we continue to let go of our hips and our glutes, softening all the way around the gua, letting go of the thighs, softening around the knees, the lower legs and the feet. The weight is able to fall through that free and open space, so we're not holding it in our legs either. And so very often there's a sense that from here down, we are becoming free in this direction. But this isn't a thing we're trying to do. It is simply the result of letting go. That's why the thing that we are doing is don'ting. We are undoing. Take your time, relaxing your feet, your toes. Sometimes it can be helpful in the beginning, once people have been standing for a while, and now that we've been at this for about a month, you can shift your weight forward slightly, again, hinging from the ankles. I'll exaggerate, kind of moving in this direction. Hinging from the ankles just a tiny bit to open and spread along the back of the body. This can help to relieve some of this pressure along the line, becoming free. And then once you soften and settle along the back, then you move your weight again by sitting back into that space, softening into a place, alignment that is more natural and easier to drop through. But sometimes that gentle lean forward can help to disinhibit our pattern of holding in the back. If that's one that's especially difficult for you, you can give that a try. Also, by standing, if you pay a little extra attention to the little fingers and the small toes, the fifth finger and the fifth toe, for those of you that have spent time studying the channels with me, you'll know this tends to have an impact along the back surfaces in the body. And so by paying attention there, as we open and soften, it's another way that we can disinhibit the back surface of the body. Just another 10 minutes or so of gentle practice. Take your time, softening into the present moment. Noticing how often it is that your mind wanders away toward thoughts of the future. And very importantly, noticing how that feels in your body. Remember that the body-mind is one flow, one process. And we want to start to pay attention to how the movement of our mind, the shifting of our intent, affects our body. That's part of the reason we're standing. So you might notice that if you catch your mind wandering off, and it's toward the future, which for some of us that's more common than others, just take note of it, relax as usual, but also take note of how it was impacting your body. Did it cause you to lean forward or lean back? Did you start to clench your hands in your shoulders? Maybe hold your breath? Pay attention to how it's impacting your body. That's a huge part of our practice. You take the time to learn how you function, so you can start to feel in your body where your mind has been wandering, even if you didn't notice it in the moment, because you can see the side effect afterward. Closing when you're ready. Always taking the time at the end of a practice to soften through your body, whether it's circling over your navel, if you have chi accumulating in the center especially. If you find like your mind is wandering all over the place, you can spend a lot of time doing closing, repeating closing until things settle again. If you need to shake out your body, maybe rotate your joints, feel free to do it. You take your time to restore, again, to get to know your body, to do what you need to do in the moment. We tend to have a routine that we follow, but it's good to break it up, to pay attention to why you're breaking it up, and to try new things. Find the way that helps you feel best. Let's grab a chair. Wonderful. Get nice and comfy. Again, part of the reason we take the time to cultivate a good, clear, upright posture is because that eventually it becomes the most comfortable posture, the easiest to use. And so stick with it. Make sure that you are continually developing this clear and upright position. It does end well for you. And in this position, we have the chance to soften our body, to let go, to become free of tension, and again, because the shape of our body reflects, is part of the shape of our mind and our emotions. Once our body starts to become clear and open, we can more easily feel the movement of our mind, of our intent, of our emotions in our body. And we can set them free. It is easier to settle a mind in a body that is settled than it is to try to settle in a mind in a body that is hanging on for dear life. And so we take the time to let go and cultivate this open, comfortable state of being. Not trying to do anything special, we're just here. Settling into this Song Jing breath that we like to use. As you exhale through your mouth, feel your whole body release, making space for this open, quiet quality. And then as you inhale through the nose, deepening and feeling that open, quiet quality, that deep stillness take hold. Sink deeper into that quality. So each breath draws you deeper and more steadily into a space of stillness. At this point, we've been doing this practice together now for about a month. If you've just joined us, of course, welcome. Perhaps you want to look down below to click on the introduction to this series, as well as starting at the beginning, rather than a month into a 100-day series. Releasing that Songjing method and settling into simple, upright relaxation practice, being present and quiet. As your mind wanders away, bring it back effortlessly. Again, pay attention to the kinds of distractions that you uncover. And today, especially noticing if your mind likes to wander into the future, perhaps worrying about the future or daydreaming about ambition. Noticing as that arises, and then simply getting good at going, losing interest in daydreams about a non-existent future, and let your mind come back. Maybe you start arguing with someone in the future about something, or planning what you're going to eat for dinner. It doesn't matter. All of it is not happening now. None of it is occurring, and so you let it all go. In the same way that during Tai Chi practice we get good at letting go of tension in our fists, during this practice we get good at letting go of the future. We lose interest in the future. We don't need it right now. Just another 10 minutes or so. Once again, noticing as your mind starts to create a vision of the future, what that does to your body, what that does to your emotional structure. Just noticing it, not trying to create it. You also don't want to try to resist it. But we do want to come to understand ourselves better. Your mind wanders away. You feel this change in your whole body, mind. You notice, and you go, eh. And your mind naturally drifts back to the present moment. Make that a reflex when it comes to the future.
You want to develop the ability to sense your own body as part of your mind, to sense your emotions as part of your mind and as part of your body. That if your mind wanders off in a certain direction, maybe it has a specific obsessive habit, you worry about something that happened or will happen with your family in the future, or something like that. Maybe you obsess over a certain idea about the future all the time. You're always anxious about an argument that's going to upcome at some point with your spouse or your boss. And you want to be able to recognize that thought triggers a specific cascade of emotions and feelings, changes in your body. And if you notice it often enough, you actually notice that there's a certain flavor to that. It takes a certain shape in your body. And you'll actually, even if you don't remember having that thought, you might notice at some point, man, I have that pattern in my body again, my boss fear pattern. Maybe you're afraid of being fired or laid off in the future. And every time that fear comes up in your mind, it shows up in a particular pattern in your body. Maybe your breath freezes, your solar plexus get really frozen, maybe your shoulders creep up towards your ears. And maybe it only shows up with that particular thought pattern. And so later on, you'll find yourself in that pattern and go, oh, I must have been worried about my boss again, whatever. And you want to become that familiar with the process because that will help wake you up when you're lost in those thoughts. People will often be lost in those thoughts for hours or days or years and never notice because you become completely disconnected from reality. But your body will always let you know what's going on. And so if you've grown comfortable with being comfortable, with letting your shoulders be relaxed, with breathing normally, it is fantastically uncomfortable to be like this. And that will snap you out of it. It will pull you out of that thought process and you go, I don't need this. And you let it go. And you come back to present moment. It's only feeling normal to have those kinds of thoughts when for you it's normal to have that kind of body. But as we change our body through Qigong practice, through meditation practice, we also start to notice those changes as part of our mind. And it becomes easier for most people to let those thoughts go when they can feel them as part of their actual structure. We let go of that part of the structure and the thoughts go as well. They're related. They're the same process. So we learn what the future, the idea of the future, which doesn't exist, how that feels in our body, in our breath, in our emotional structure. And then we let it go there too. And suddenly we find ourselves worrying about the future a lot less. Very worthwhile project. You got this.
I'll see you tomorrow.